Hey guys, I've got a tier list today for the men's pound for pound top ranking as of the 10th of July 2024. I've got the top 15 here, 15 being Aljamain Sterling, all the way to number 1, which is Islam Makhachev. So what I'm doing with this list today is basically, I've got 3 tiers. One is chin to oblivion. So, if I want to see this person get knocked out, by a strike, by a kick, by an elbow, I just want to see this person take a tumble, basically. The second tier, which is don't care, which is I just don't care either or. I don't care if they get knocked out, I don't care if they knock somebody out, I'm indifferent. And then the third tier would be protect at all costs. So I do not want to see this person get knocked out. I do not want to see this person lose. It's the last thing that I want to see. All right. So I think we'll start with number 15, which is Aljamain Sterling. I don't care. To be honest, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Aljamain Sterling fights. I actually do look back at his championship run and go, it actually was quite interesting. But overall, I don't really care about Aljamain Sterling. So we'll move on to number 14, which is Sean Strickland. Yeah, definitely chin into oblivion. I'd love to see him get head kicked, knocked out like maybe in the similar to how Pereira knocked him out. He will come back from this. He'll fight again. No one will care if he gets knocked out, but I will. So that's number 14. 13, do Bronx Oliveira. Yeah, definitely protect him at all costs. I really enjoy watching Do Bronx Oliveira. I really enjoy his fights. I want to see him back in the title contention. I do not want to see him get knocked out at all. Israel Adesanya. Yeah, look, chin to oblivion. I didn't really enjoy his reign. As a champion. I mean, there's some fights like, with Jared Wood, they were just boring. I'm going to be honest. They weren't too interesting. And just as a fight sense, love to see a bit of that, highlight reel. And if Dricus Duplessis can, put the finish on him coming in Perth, I think that would be good. Move on to Tom Aspinall, which is number 11. I don't care. That's how quick I'm going to be on number 11. Number 10, we got Pantoja. Yeah, look, I definitely want to see him get chinned. I think he just has the face for it. And I don't think his fights are too enjoyable as well. I'm going to move past him and go to Max Holloway. You know what? Let's protect Max. He hasn't been knocked out in his career yet. In an exciting fight with Justin Gaethje for the BMF title, he's definitely somebody I do not want to see get knocked out. Kind of like a Nate Diaz, he just doesn't get knocked out. I actually don't want to see it. Really enjoy his fights. Like him as a person too. That's where I'm keeping that one. And then we have Alexander Volkanovski, number 7. He's the Australian Wombat. He's definitely going to be protected. I mean, after his last 2 fights with Islam and Ilya, I do not want to see him get knocked out again. I do not want to see a hand or a kick going anywhere near that big bold head of his. I want him to be the Wombat, be protected at all times, and not take any damage anymore, at least for another fight or 2. Definitely protect him at all costs. Number 6, we've got Sean O'Malley. My bad. I actually missed Dricus Duplessis. I'm going to say... this one's actually got me. I'm going to say protect at all costs, and that's mainly because I want him to stay the champion, and I think he'll be good for the division. That's purely why. Sorry about that. We'll go back to Sean O'Malley. You know what? I love to see Sean O'Malley get chin into oblivion. I don't mind him as a fighter, but you know what? He'll come back from this. He hasn't lost yet. And, imagine seeing that on TikTok or YouTube or something and just seeing the highlight of Sean O'Malley getting knocked out. Yeah, that's up there for me for sure. Who do we have now? Oh, you know what? Easily, I want to see Ilya get knocked out. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's boring, to be honest. I mean, his fights are good, don't get me wrong, but just as a person, he's just boring. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of him before he even had the Volkanovski fight. I'm happy to see him get chinned. Even if all his fights were amazing and he's just put some high-level performances, I just want to see him get chinned. And that's it. And you know what? The exact same for Leon Edwards. But he unlike Ilya, is a boring fighter with boring fights. I do not want to see him as a champion anymore. I miss the Usman days. I miss it so bad. I don't like Elena as a champion. I wish I had a fourth tier here, which is like Shin into retirement, because that's where I'll put Leon Edwards. Now we've got the final three. We've got John Jones, Pereira, and Islam. Easily, Jones is going to be Chin to oblivion. You know, I don't think this one really needs an explanation. Maybe it's due to how inactive he is, or his posts on Twitter and stuff. But man, he's just not a likable fighter. He's not a likable fighter, and I think there's so many other worthy potential champions in the division who isn't John Jones. Plus, I just love to see him get knocked out. I love to see him get a first loss, official loss of his career. Now, number 2, we've got Alex Pereira. Definitely protected at all costs. Really enjoying his fights. I think he's doing an amazing run at the moment in the UFC, taking short notice fights, which many champions don't do. He's the one who knocks people out. He doesn't get knocked out. Well, he does, but let's not talk about that. So look, I'll definitely say protect Pereira at all costs. And then the final one, Islam Makhachev. All right, protect at all costs. Don't care. Chin to oblivion. You know what? I feel like a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but I'm going to go protect at all costs. I really enjoy Islam's fights. I know that people compare him with Khabib, that, he's just a grappler and, it's boring. But you know what? I think he's a pretty good striker, like, especially that last fight with Dustin Poirier. He's a good striker. I really enjoy his fights. I want him to keep going on this winning streak that he's on. I want him to be protected at all costs. Now, mind you, in this tier list, like, if you look at Chin into oblivion, like, I don't want to see Sean get knocked out over Leon. So, like, these aren't ranked within the tiers themselves. But that's where it sits. So what I want to know is, what would you change? Why would you change it? And just give me your thoughts.